This is going to be an interesting one because the tier list is Star Wars film rankings. You know, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I am. And I have a pretty mainline list, I think. But you guys are going to tell me where you disagree. In the chat, in the comments, I will be posting this on YouTube as a VOD. So buckle in and let's do the Star Wars tier list with your coach right now. All right, so starting first is episode 2, Attack of the Clones. For a long time, this movie was deemed atrocious. Some people probably still think that way. I think it's underrated. And when we had our little TIE crew discussion midstream a couple weeks ago, Nightwing actually had this as his favorite go-to. I like this movie years later now more than at the time. You have a lot of elements working around. You got Yoda fight. You got more revealing of the Sith with Count Dooku. You got Obi-Wan on a detective mission. You have a Coliseum fight. You have a secret romance, secret partner with Anakin and Padme. You got Jango Fett. You got Mace Windu. You got lightsabers. You kind of got everything in there. So I think it's underrated, and it's better now to me than it was originally when it came out. If originally, I'd probably have this in like a B or C tier, but now I'm gonna put it A. I know you have Anakin's slow turn to the dark side with the death of his mother. You got a whole bunch of stuff in there, that are lore building and just add to the full narrative of the original Skywalker saga. So I'm going A with episode 2. All right, next. Gosh, I can barely see that. Let me zoom in on this. Coach's old eyes. We got Empire Strikes Back. The next one. Empire Strikes Back is one of the first Star Wars movies I ever remember seeing. Ever. I still remember it to this day. I was at my uncle's house and my cousin was watching it, and I was very little, probably like 4 years old, and just being like enthralled with the scene where Luke is in Dagobah and he meets Yoda for the first time, and R2's going crazy in the water, and that whole scene, it just sparks so many memories. And it is a lot of people's favorite Star Wars movie, and for good reason. It's an S tier. I mean, Coach Milo even said her favorite fight scene, Luke and Darth, Cloud City, I am your father. Boom. That is S tier. Pretty easy there. Now we have episode 7 here. The Force Awakens. If I had to watch one of the new sequel trilogy movies, it's this one. I don't love it. You got Han Solo and Chewbacca in there, so that already gives it a little bit of a bump for me. You have the introduction of Rey, which her introductory scenes were pretty cool. Her scavenging the old Star Destroyers, the desert planet. Her little food that grows on its own in the little pot, and she's living in a AT-AT or an ATST. I can't remember if it's an AT-AT or ATST, but either way, very cool scenes. And then the Kylo Ren stuff was awesome too. And then at that point, we were introduced to a new character, Snoke, who was still mysterious at that point. I went and saw that one in the theater. It's definitely not one of my favorites, not one of my go-tos, but I'm gonna give it, it's either B or C for me. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give that one a B. I'll watch that one. The next one, The Last Jedi. I'm one of those that just do not like this movie very much at all. I think what they decided to do with Luke Skywalker's character just kind of ruined it for me a little bit. The Kylo Ren stuff is still good when it's good, and the interaction with him and Rey, interesting. And you had a cool throne scene, fight scene, if you will. But almost everything else outside of that was just no bueno for me. And I don't want to dog on the movie more than that, but it's just, to me, it just kind of, it really made Star Wars take a backseat to me. I'm putting this D tier. Putting it D tier. Now, all of these movies are incredible in terms of cinematics and music and just the overall scope of a Disney movie, right? None of them are bad in that regard. But to me, the story and the story decisions in that film in particular just were that bad that I just can't watch that movie. Like, I can't even go back and watch it now. I don't even look back at it. That's how damaging that movie was for me. All right, A New Hope. What more can you say? It's like the classic hero story, the Luke, Leia, Han, Chewbacca, Obi-Wan story, Darth Vader's appearance. I mean, it is an iconic movie through and through. I mean, there's not much that needs to be said there. It's an S tier. It has shaped a lot of filmmaking for the decades that followed it and up to today. And it is an incredible film. It's like a piece of history. It's an S tier movie. I don't like it more than Empire, and I probably don't even like it more than any of the prequels at this point, but it's such an iconic and historical movie that it deserves to be higher on the list in terms of Star Wars. It's the original Star Wars movie, man. So it started all of it for the rest of the movie. So for me, that's S tier. Episode 1. Man, the build up to this movie was incredible. I remember in 1998 and leading up into 1999, the leaks and the rumors of George Lucas bringing back Star Wars, man. And I remember seeing that trailer for the first time drop. Ooh, it was so mysterious and so almost more sinister. Then the movie came out and it was not what a lot of people expected, including what I expected at the time. I saw it in the theaters. I saw all the prequels in the theaters, actually, when they came out. And it was, at the time, a little jarring. You know, this kid and Anakin being a kid and Jar Jar. And I remember at the time not being thrilled with the movie. But like Skeleton Ocean said, the prequels have grown on me over time, where they just add so much lore to Star Wars in general that when I choose to go watch Star Wars, typically nowadays, I go to the prequels. The Darth Maul Obi-Wan fight, what it means for the whole story arc. Qui-Gon Jinn, the character, and acted by Liam Neeson, fantastic job. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, fantastic. Young Natalie Portman, a little rigid, but her character was so iconic in terms of her look, her style, her bravery. And then obviously finding out that that's Leia's daughter and stuff. It's just it's an incredible film for lore building. And you get to see the beginnings of Darth Vader. You get to see the Jedi and what they actually were like. I like a Phantom Menace now way more. If you would have asked me back in 2000, I probably would have said C. But now I probably go... I'm going to go A. I think it's better than Force Awakens. Not an S tier movie. I think there could be an argument to make it a B, but I'm going to say A. That's where I'm going with Phantom Menace. Return of the Jedi is the next one. Return of the Jedi, man, has some memorable scenes, especially the opening. I always think of the opening with this movie when Luke goes into Jabba's palace. Now, obviously there's an awkward scene in there that kind of hurts it, in my opinion. But the overall heroism, the rebels winning, the Ewoks, it's just kind of a fun celebration movie. And then obviously the throne room scene with Palpatine, Vader, and Luke too. I think Return of the Jedi deserves an A as well. I think it deserves an A as well. Got Yoda passing away. How many memes have been made of Yoda when he's in the bed? Tired in my... He's just all tired. He doesn't even want to talk to Luke anymore. He's like, get out of my hut, man. I'm tired. I don't want to talk about your dad. Get out. Load up the damn gun. Exactly. That's what Yoda's telling Luke. He's like, load up the dang lightsaber and go Revenge of the Jedi for us. Lucky Mike saying all the memes came rushing back to me at once. Yeah, see, dude, they're endless. Ooh, Rogue One. Rogue One to me has been the best of the non-Skywalker saga movies. It really does add to A New Hope, the opening scene of A New Hope. It does. And if you're a Clone Wars fan, it's got a little Easter egg stuff in there too. Is it A worthy though? I think for the Darth Vader ending scene where he's cutting through the hallways alone, it probably is. Part of me wants to say B though. I don't think it is as iconic as those A movies, but it's like in between A and B. But I'm gonna give it a B though. It's good, but I haven't really rewatched it ever since then. I just don't feel the need to. It just kind of is like a little add-on to the original Star Wars. So I like it though. I think I would like it a little bit more than Force Awakens, to be honest, but I don't think it's that good that it deserves to be up in the top. So I'm gonna put it down to B. And then we have Revenge of the Sith. You guys know I picked this one in our little mini podcast about this. It's an S tier for me. To me, it's my go-to to watch out of all of them. It's my go-to. I love it. It's got that dark grittiness to it. What a job by the actor that portrays Palpatine. Just such a good job in that movie. Yoda, Mace Windu, Anakin, and Anakin's fall. The tension with Padme, the Mustafar scene, the culmination of that fall to the dark side for Anakin is just so epic. And a culmination of kind of all the prequels, and then the really just ties in the original trilogy too. So just an incredible film. I love that movie. I can watch that one anytime. Good job, George Lucas. Man, Revenge of the Sith. It's a classic, man. Love that one. All right, Solo. I could add so much more about Revenge of the Sith, but that one, hey, it's got Wookiees. Come on. Order 66. Oh my gosh, you can go on and on. All right, Solo. Man, Solo got chopped up. The director changes. They didn't commit to the story they were going to do for it. Woody Harrelson does good. I think Emilia Clarke did good. I think the actor that tried to do Han Solo did good too. And Chewbacca, all that was good, but it wasn't great. But it wasn't terrible either. I'm going to give it a C. I like the scene where Han sees Emilia Clarke's character again in the bar, and there's like this little green brain in a dish that's just like singing, all deep voice too. He's just like all deep like this. It's weird. It's a weird scene, but I like it. But it's not a top tier Star Wars movie at all. And then we have Rise of Skywalker. Man, is that a C or a D? Is that a C or a D? You want to talk about a chopped up, jumbled mess of a movie? You bring back Palpatine and just completely, and the way you did bring back Palpatine, you just completely wreck Vader being the chosen one and ending the Sith and bringing balance to the Force again. So he sacrificed himself and threw Palpatine down for what? Somehow Palpatine returned. That line. Oh, they fly now. That line. Are you kidding me? You killed Chewbacca, but then you just said, oh no, we didn't. There's just no stakes in the movie. And they completely pulled down their pants and dropped a deucer all over the Lucas stories. That's my tier list. Empire, New Hope, Revenge of the Sith, S tier. Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, Return of the Jedi, A. Force Awakens, Rogue One, B. Solo, a C. And The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker are D's. That is Coach Reacts, everybody.